Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is me, once again, screaming into the void of the internet. You know, I would have made a video last night, but they were doing some, road work, and so I couldn't do anything. And so, as per usual, we are on that there 4 hours of sleep here early in the morning. And, yeah, man. It is what it is. And I can tell that, it's gonna be tough for the next, I want to say, 2 weeks, because my basically only I don't want to say good, but my only reliable manager isn't going to be here, and he's essentially only the male manager, so he's actually the one doing heavy lifting and stuff like that. And I'm kind of gonna be looking on my shoulder a little bit consistently, because there are some homeless people here, and I'm not judging them or nothing, but you never know, and you never know if they're doing something early in the morning. So yeah, but like I said, I don't judge them or nothing. So I kind of wanted to talk about something that I've kind of mentioned a few times in a few videos, but I'm gonna talk about why I can't stand them. And if you see the title, you see it. Why I don't really care for cops, or why I have a disdain for cops, whatever I'm gonna title this. I haven't decided yet. But I'm not a big fan of law enforcement. Now, I want to make this very clear. I'm not some freaking BLM advocate, not some freaking Antifa anarchist or some bullcrap like that. I'm not one of those, okay? But what I am is just someone that gets really sick of people sitting around saying stuff like, oh, we need to protect and, respect our men in blue and stuff like that, and when they don't respect us. Because here's the thing. These cocksuckers, you are consistently seeing them, freaking murder citizens, right? You see these cocksuckers gunning people down, dragging them out of freaking vehicles and stuff like that. And not always, again, for justifiable reasons. If it's justifiable, okay, but if it's unjustifiable, and you're seeing obviously instances, in my case, where I'm talking about, in obviously unjustifiable reasons, and you see this happen, and yet again, where is this force applied to the people who are really doing some effed up stuff? Where is this force applied? Why is it always against, just some person who's probably done some petty crime, or God forbid, you're just pulled over, at a light, and you step out of the vehicle, and when they go to search you, they'll be like, well, officer, just ahead of time, I am armed, I legally carry. And in some of these instances, they just start opening fire. You can only watch people get killed repeatedly before you go, yeah, there's a problem. Because listen, I've got no problem against, cops doing what they're supposed to do. But at the same time, they make it seem like they're some kind of gods. And listen, I've straight up, and I'm not talking at my arse. I don't really give a rat's arse if you want to say that I'm talking at my arse, or, oh, I'm just making this up and stuff like that. But I distinctly remember getting pulled over, not necessarily myself, but when I was with my mom, many years when I was younger. This cop straight up told her, because I was on my way to middle school. I remember this. I'll never forget this. Oh, I'm God. And I don't think that anyone in our legal department doesn't think that. They're addicted to that power. They get to just pull crap out of their arse and just take you to jail, and you can't do anything about it. Well, you can, but you have to know your freaking rights, and good luck knowing your rights consistently, because the laws always change. And the laws have loopholes that only law enforcement know about, unless, again, you study it. So, to be a lawyer, it basically condemns you to consistently study something that is being constantly, revamped and changed around, and you need to kind of understand all these loopholes and understand the legalese. They write things inherently complex so that only they understand, and you have to spend, again, many months grinding it out to even attempt to decipher it, But you see this happening so consistently that eventually you just get to the point where you're like, you know what? Why should I respect these people? Nothing about what they do is really, to be honest, as necessary as you would think, None of all of this freaking effort, all of this attitude and crap, that's not necessary. I get it. You're working a job that can get you killed and stuff like that, but hey, you want the freaking check. It's not about you serving and protecting. You don't really care about freaking these people. You talk out your arse. It's the same with the military, right? The military talks about how, You know, it's like to serve and protect, you know, uphold American way, blah, 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 blah. But that's not really what it's about. There are a lot of people in the military, and I know because I was originally going to go into the military, right? I talked to some of these people. They just want to kill people. They just want to do it legally. And, you know, if you kill someone here, it's a problem. But if you kill somebody, you know, in another country, oh, you're defending the country. You should respect it. It's just a joke. You know, it's really just a joke. That's all it really boils down to. And when it comes down to these cops, these jackarsers that seem to think that, well, it's fine. How many instances are they caught in, like, the most debaucherous crap? You know, that chick that is infamous right now, that was getting trains run on her at, you know, like, that freaking police agency, and everybody was in on it. I don't think all of them, like, lost their jobs. And even though she, like, got air quotes fired, she got money from that. She was exposed of being a whore. She was exposed of literally being the public gangbang meat, right? And she gets money. And, you know, as effed up as that is, that's tame. That's tame. You know, I could think of another instance where a guy pulled over, like, some fat arse, like, a chick, and he arrested her. And, like, I don't know if she was drunk or something, but she said, like, oh, I'm gonna F tonight. And he says, oh, don't say that right now. You know, don't say that right now. And then, literally, he turns off his body cam, and he locks himself in the back with her, because he was getting freaky. And people are trying to say, oh, it's fine, because, like, these dumb-arse cocksuckers that don't get pussy, you know, that make it seem like it's out to be everything. And I don't say that as, again, you know, some guy bragging because I've had sex. I'm saying that as facts. They try and say that that's just to be excusable. He's getting paid on your taxes. He's getting paid by the hour. And he's getting a bonus because he's arresting somebody. Because that's another thing, if you didn't know. Cops get a bonus for doing their job. What kind of bullcrap is that? You shouldn't get a bonus for arresting people. That's part of your freaking job description. If that's the case, then everybody should get a bonus for doing all of their jobs, you know? Like, that's nothing. So he basically just got a bonus for arresting her and a bonus for basically getting free sex. Like, and that's the guy that's going to decide, you know, depending on his attitude, if you're going to go home tonight, whether it be, you know, like, you getting arrested or whether you get gunned down. That's the mofo deciding your fate. That's the guy deciding your fate. That's why it's such a big deal. People are trying to say, oh, that's not the big deal. Yes, it is. Because if these people are going to uphold laws, then obviously, again, this is just on, you know, in an ideal setting, right? The hope is that the people who are upholding the laws are people of integrity. Now, obviously, no one's perfect. But in these kinds of cases, these cocksuckers don't even attempt to be. You know, they don't even attempt to be, and you see it in their attitude. That's why I don't care what anyone says, you know, like, for me personally, I could do with a lot less cops. I could. Because the only reason that they exist, the only reason that they have power, is because they apologize, I can't speak right now. They disenfranchised you. That's really all it boils down to, you know. They took away your power. You can't protect yourself without worrying about going to jail. You can't defend yourself without being considered, oh, you used excessive force. Meanwhile, this cocksucker is tackling you to the ground, putting you in a headlock, smashing your teeth against pavement, but, you know, oh, excessive force. You know, you use excessive force and you own, like, a freaking snubby or something. This cocksucker whips out a freaking assault rifle or a goddamn shotty, and that's not excessive force. This cocksucker's mounted on a building somewhere with freaking sniper rounds, but that's not excessive force. Like, one of us is literally armed in riot gear and SWAT uniforms with high caliber rifles. The other one of us usually is mainly just an average guy with access to a 9mm or maybe a .45, like that. There's a massive difference. There's a massive difference. And again, when they're freaking shooting, they're trained to hit center mass. So they just freaking mag dump. Every time, listen, I haven't seen any cop, usually, right? I haven't seen any cop that is like some kind of marksman where it's like they only need like a couple of shots. They dump the whole mag. That's all you see. I get it. It's a, again, high danger, high stress, high adrenaline environment. But at the end of the day, you're the one that signs up for it because you want the pay. You don't really give a rat's arse about protecting anyone. You don't care about any of that stuff. You just want the money. That's all it really boils down to. And, you know, you're allowed to feel that way. By all means, you're allowed to feel that way. You know, it doesn't matter. You're allowed to feel that way. It is a dangerous job, I don't deny that, but there is no excuse for that. There's no excuse for it at all. And that's why I just decided, yeah, I can't really respect it. I personally just can't respect it, so. Yeah. But I know that was pretty out of nowhere, but it's whatever, man. I'm probably going to go ahead and just try and get ready to wait on it, because I'm tired, but we got to be here another 8 hours, so it is what it is, folks. You got to grind it out. I'll probably come back with another update a little bit later, because at least I'll be off tomorrow, and there is something that I probably need to talk about in relation to like an update that I will have, hopefully. But thank you guys for listening, as usual. God bless. I will see you guys next time.